Boom! Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. If you like the video, subscribe, give it a like. It don't cost a dime. Very rarely do you see me doing a Dallas Cowboy video. I try to limit to like one a month, to be honest with you. This is a college football draft channel and, NFL channel for all 32 NFL teams. This is just a quick video. Tyron Smith retired. I think we picked him 9. I think he was 9th overall. I'm just going off the top of my head. Out of USC. It was a toss up. It was either him or J.J. Watt we could have had. And I don't think we would have been wrong with either one, to be honest with you. They're both Hall of Famers. Tyron Smith, I think he was like 20 when he came into the NFL. That's young for an offense. You can get away with it as a skill position, but that's very young for an offensive, for a lineman in general to be playing in the trenches at that young age. That's why you see colleges, you see linemen coming out of colleges now that are like 23, 24, 25. Because when you get a kid that's 24, 25, that's a grown man at that point. And he's competing against a 19-year-old. That 19-year-old hasn't even been done growing. But long story short, they drafted Tyron out of USC. I believe he played right tackle 1 year, and they slid him out to the left side. Great size, great length, great athleticism. But unfortunately, just another player that Dallas has wasted. Yo, it truly is hard to find a left tackle that you don't have to worry about giving him no help at all. They don't grow on trees, bro. Left tackles do not grow on trees. And some of them, you got to give them a tight end. You got to give them a running back to chip. You didn't need to do that with Tyron Smith at left tackle. You just leave him on an island. Him, Flozo Adams was the same. Mark Tuinei was the same. I'll put their names right up there with Tyron Smith. Listen, man, as a fan, you gotta sometimes take a step back and look at your team. From a football point of view, he probably should have been off Dallas like 4 years ago. He should have retired probably like 4 years ago, because the last 4 or 5 years he played maybe I think 40%, not even, of the games out there. And he was starting to be a liability. But Father Time is undefeated, man. He is. So he went to the Jets. I said he wouldn't last 10 games. He lasted like 7, and he was just a turnstile. Bravo for him, man. He fleeced the Jets out of $16 million. Or $15 million, I think, for 1 year. I know it was a 2-year deal, but he fleeced them for $15 million for 7 games. Bro, great country America is, man. Got to take my hat off to him. And then he does that, the traditional, they sign a 1-day contract with the original team, and he retired a Cowboy. But you gotta put him up there with Amazing Creations. What's up? Boom. Yes, Dallas wastes so many careers. Jerry Jones is an idiot, Danny. Yeah, I think he does, man. And I said that, man. Another career wasted. He, yo, no, and I've been saying this all along. Don't be shocked. You see Dallas move back. Just a few minutes ago, Stephen Jones was joking around. Oh, we're probably going to be moving back. I could see Dallas probably trading back twice. Don't get me wrong. I want my third round pick back. I want my fourth round pick back. But I can see this was like, I'm honestly, I can see them doing like the year we drafted Travis Frederick, they traded back two times and they got Travis Frederick at 32. I can see them moving back more than once, to be honest with you. But then, honestly, if a monster falls to you at 12, how do you not take him, bro? But this is what happens when you just give. What grade are you going to give this draft when at the end of the day, you're going to have Jonathan Mingo as your round? They'll say, oh, Jonathan Mingo is a fourth round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. You move back because 8 to 12 players from contending. Yeah, I legit have like 10 to 12 players with a first round grade. There's some guys that's had some surgeries right now, but I don't care. I don't care because they played with the injuries. They didn't even know they had the injuries and they had them. So, there's a difference of you training for the combine and it happening or you playing the entire season with an injury, not even knowing about it. Because let's be honest, unless you were born in a bubble, you're gonna. I'm gonna do a separate video on that too. But real quick, man, like I said, it was. I remember just a game that stood out to me. Like I hate the Giants with a fucking passion. And listen, bro, I know this is a 32 NFL team channel, but I hate the Giants with a passion. And there's this one highlight clip of him pulling out, and he sends a DB just like 6 yards in the air. So, but Tyron Smith wasted. Travis Frederick wasted. Zach Martin wasted. You only can blame one person, and you got to blame the Joneses. 805 Vaughn, boom. Thank you for jumping in the house. Listen, I agree with you. Our quarterback is a problem, but the bigger problem is the Jones. DeMarcus Ware, wasted. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, but Jerry was right there, inducting DeMarcus Ware into the Hall of Fame with a smile this big on his face. Listen, I do like the fact that they took DeMarcus Ware because, ironically, Bill Parcells, and I hate him, and looking at him standing on the Dallas Cowboys sideline made me want to fucking vomit every time I looked at him. He wanted Marcus Spears first. Yo, it never would have worked. It was like, I think they picked like 10th and 20th. And he wanted Marcus Spears at 10, and then he wanted Sean Merriman at 20, Bill Parcells. So Dallas, actually, they went with DeMarcus Ware, and then they went with Spears later on. Oh, he sucked, but he's on ESPN. Listen, don't get me started, bro. With Bill Parcells, I can pull out a book and start writing about all the wasted draft picks he had. A good thing though was one of his draft picks. I was banging his girlfriend. We met in Cancun on spring break, and he happened to get drafted by the Cowboys. I'm gonna leave it at that. Can't go no further than that. But going back to that, and then she was living in Manhattan, and I'll just shut my mouth there. But Tyron Smith retires, bro. He'll get into Canton one day, and hopefully his body will heal up. You said the only thing Jerry Tate ever did was hire Jimmy. Yeah, 805 on. I agree. I mean, that, and like I also said the only thing Jerry's ever did was hire Jimmy. He drafted Larry Allen because that was Barry Switz's first year. He drafted Larry. The only thing Jerry ever did was hire Jimmy, draft Larry Allen, and he drafted DeMarcus Ware, who he wasted. So, but like I said, I'll get boom, Jay Lombardi. Boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. Yeah, man, just like a quick video out there, just showing I don't know what stupid mob movie it was where they said the worst thing is wasted talent. I don't know. I forgot which movie it was, Goodfellas or Bronx Tale. But yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Tyron and Zach deserve a chip. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And you can even add Frederick. He was nasty too. We wasted 3 good linemen. A Bronx Tale. Yeah, I remember it was one of them. And let's be honest, the way we're looking, looks like we're going to waste Micah too. Micah's coming up in his 4th season, and it looks like we're going to waste CD Lamb also. That's the way it's looking. Let's be honest, man. When guys talk about Dallas as a playoff team, bro, I have to laugh, man. Don't be shocked. They're the worst team in the division this year. Don't be shocked. Giants are going to throw some offensive linemen at the team. They got Russell Wilson. They got above average skill players at skill positions. Young running back Tyron Tracy. They're going to draft another one. Giants either going to go Will Campbell or like Abdul Carter at 3. They get a quarterback. Their defensive line is legit, the Giants, and their skill players are legit. Listen, you got to realize, man, the Redskins are a completely new team. You know they're getting a running back at 29, man. Philly's talking about trading up already, and they're gonna, because let's look at their team is stacked. They have like 8 draft picks, so 8 kids are not making that starting lineup. So what you do is you package them and go get who you want. And you want to get sick to your stomach? Look and see the amount of draft picks that Philly has in 2026. It's disgusting, man. It's legit. In 2026, they have a first, like 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 4s. It's ridiculous in 2026, the amount of draft picks Philly has. Bronx Tale. Yeah. Yeah, Jerry. I'm sure you've all seen it, man. There's that picture out there of Jerry. Looks like he had a couple bottles of wine with the stripper. She's on her knees. Bro, I'm sorry. That's a classic photo. Bro, what are you going to do? He's a billionaire, man. Does what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. But it just blows my mind that everything he touches turns to gold, but he can't assemble a winning fucking team or a winning fucking program or get a winning coach. Because I'm going to be honest with you, after Jimmy Johnson, Barry was Barry. Barry was a player's coach. All the players loved him. He won a Super Bowl. But I'm going to be honest with you, that 1995 game versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, we were out coached so bad. And it's amazing the talent we had that we were out coached by Bill Cowher. It was so obvious. And we still beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then what happened? Bam. Next year, we lost in the following year. We lost to Carolina Panthers in the wild card round. Boom, like an expansion team, and that's when I think Green Bay won it the year after. So, listen, man. Like I said, he can assemble a team, just doesn't care to do it the right way. You know what it is? It's to be, yeah, like you said, Jay, 1,000%. It's the Jones way or the no way. Listen, I agree with you 1,000%, but you see, that is one of the reasons, I bleed blue and silver, man. But that is one of the reasons why I made this a draft channel. That's one of the reasons why I made this. Because listen, I have 1,000 cowboy hats. You don't see me wearing them. I got 1,000 jerseys. Why? For what? Why am I going to keep supporting? 30 years, bro. I got lucky. I saw them when I was a kid in the 70s. Then I was around for all the bad years. And then I was around for the glory years. 30 years? We got 30 years of nothing. And I'm honestly, I have to blame the fan base at this point. We gave Carolina their first playoff win. Sad, bro. Yeah. An expansion team. Jerry Jones, all he does is waste talent. But like I says, at some point, the fans have to say enough is enough. Enough is enough. Tyron Smith should have retired 5 years. Boom. Thank you for jumping in the chat. I agree with you. That's where, as a fan, you have to step back and look sometimes. I've said that. Tyron Smith should have retired from the Cowboys 5 years ago. He should have. I mean, we went through a stretch of where he played 5 out of the last 58 games. And but honestly, even if Tyron would have played all those games, this team wasn't winning. None of those teams were winning the Super Bowls. So, just being honest, man. And I say the truth even when I lie. Even if he would have played. And we gave, that was the Hard Knocks year, Amazing Creations. I remember that, man. I'll never forget, which was odd, we played the Texans in a preseason game. And Jerry the drunk is sitting there saying, oh, well, I know when we meet them, we're going to be able to run on them. And they played the Texans the first game of that season. And we lost. Just shut your fucking mouth, man. And now it's Steve. Listen, let's be honest. Jerry's just in the corner licking his ice cream. He doesn't know what day of the week it is. He doesn't, man. He's wearing a diaper. I mean, Amazing Creations. When you can't stop the run, you'll never win a championship. I can't remember the last time we stopped the run, and that's been it's the truth. We can't run and we can't stop the run. You're going nowhere, man. That's why, it's great having Micah, but let's be honest. We could have Charles Haley at our other defensive end. I'm just going to run straight up the middle. And honestly, because I'm a draft guy, zero, in my opinion, 0 techs and 1 techs, that is probably the easiest position to find. And it doesn't have to be a first rounder. Mozzie Smith was a mistake. Brian Burese out of Clemson should have been the pick. 6'6", 310, who went 3 picks later, and who was big enough, had the frame where he played 1, he played 0, he played 3, he played even stand up 5, and he has the frame to even play 0 tech. And I got laughed at. When you guys are bored later, just look up Brian Burese. He plays for the Saints. We should have drafted him, but we took Maxi Pad. Look up Brian Burese's stats the last 2 years versus Mozzie Smith. Listen, I've said this a million times. I don't like going big defensive tackles in the first round unless you get in the Vita Vea, Haloti Nada. But it was like a late round pick. So I get it. But Maxi Pad was definitely the wrong pick. I stopped buying game tickets for 218. Yeah, man, because you know what it is, man? It's like at some point, the fans have to push the back. But you know what it is? It's like you can look at a preseason game. No joke. When the preseason starts this year, just look around some of the other stadiums in the NFL. There's like 10,000 people in the stands. 5,000 people in the stands. A Dallas preseason game, there's 80,000 people, 85,000 people in the stands. Stadium is sold out forever. People are paying $32 for a fucking cold hot dog and a warm beer. There's no incentive for Jerry to win. Last season, how many games did you see at home? There was a lot of other teams' colors in those stands. If I was a season ticket holder, I would do the exact same thing. They're losing, I would just be selling the tickets. At some point, the fans have to revolt. I'm just being honest with you, because there's one way and only one way to hurt the Joneses. That's in the pocket. That's it. That's it. Because they've given us 30 years of nothing. We wasted 3 really good offensive linemen, and they played with 2 quarterbacks. Those went to Romo and Dak. Don't even get me started on Dak. He's walking around like, oh, he's all big shit that he lost 30 pounds. Why did it take you to get paid $500 million? Because he's made $500 million already with his career with Dallas. But why did it take you to become the highest paid person in football, then rip your hamstring for you to have to lose 30 pounds? Shit, for that kind of money, man, I'd cut half my body off. Be like, yeah, I lost it, But you had to take that, and what? Now you're going to repackage himself? Listen, Dak's window closed a long, long time ago. Dak's window closed when he snapped his ankle. When it was dangling off, that made Dak one-dimensional. And listen, man, I thought he was it in 2016. I ran out. I have 2 sons. I bought them Dak jerseys. But I think it was also a mistake not throwing Tony Romo into the Green Bay game. A rookie Dak is never, that game was going to be a gunslinging game back and forth with Aaron Rodgers. Second, we stumbled out of threw Romo in there. Also, too, I'm old school, so I have a thing where you lose your job for bad performance. You should not lose your job over an injury. That's me. You shouldn't. But Dallas had Dak had the hot hand that year. young line, rookie Zeke. They were just pounding on people. So I get it, leaving Dak in there. But the second he stumbled against Green Bay, I would have threw Tony Romo into that game because at that point, well, listen, man, it is what it is. Let's see, going back to my draft real quick. I've broken down 717 players. I think I've done 86 mock drafts. I've done 7 team mock drafts. I put out 39 sleepers. I put one out earlier. So mañana, listen, I ain't breaking down any more players. All my rankings are out there. So tomorrow we'll do another draft, another mock, and another sleeper I'll throw at you. But it's ironic. You could probably check it out when you just get off here. And you're going to see it, man. Stephen Jones is already joking around saying we're trading back. Watch, man. And listen, if your guys are not there, I'm all for trading back because we got to get that fourth. We have to get a fourth back, at least another 3. We have to. But, you know, you need 2 to tango. You know what I'm saying? But, and Carolina's already saying they're looking to move. Carolina's already said number 8's up for sale. They're looking to move back. But it's all going to be like, I think, how far Shador falls also. As crazy as it sounds, I could see Dallas drafting Shador, as crazy as that sounds. Because the circus will be in town. Yeah, Dax, listen, it's nothing. Listen, I've said this 100 times. It ain't personal. This is just business. And being the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys is the hardest job in all of sports. So, but it is what it is. And the fans are okay with mediocrity. And as long as Jerry Jones sees the stadium full, what does he care? He gave Dak what, 250 million his last contract? That's like us ordering pizza on a Saturday. That's a joke to him, bro. Guy's worth like $11 billion. And yet we haven't won nothing. This is what blows my mind. We haven't won nothing in 30 years, and Dallas is the most valuable franchise in the NFL. Imagine if we did win. That's why, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If the games and if they're on TV, great, I'll watch them. If they're not, I refuse to pay. I refuse to pay to watch that. My father, God rest his soul, he had the cowboy tattoo on his arm, on his forearm, and then he had below it, "How about them Cowboys?" My father, God rest his soul, bled blue and silver, bro. And for the last 20 years, 25 years, his exact words was, "It's not even enjoyable watching Dallas play." I don't know, man. It's a tiring video, but thank everyone for jumping in the chat. Amazing Creations, Jay Lombardi, 805 Vaughn. I think it's going to be a long, long, long season. But we got to see how it goes next Thursday. Because we all know when you're rocking with the GWO, it's for life. Over and out, everybody. Thank you for jumping in the chat.